So what I'm going to do is actually set the boiler aside for a sec. I'll just place him down here very gently, over there with the radio gear, and now we'll come back to the chassis itself. Because if you look here, what we've got is we've got you can see the contacts there for the sound synchronization, but if I pick up the chassis and roll it over, what you can see here is the motor has a suppression board on the back. That's the contact that goes up to that other PC board that I was just showing you. So we've got to get access to all of that and remove the power pickups. The only way to do that really is to undo the chassis, and you can see here there's some Phillips head screws all the way through here that we have to remove. So now I'm going to remove this cover. I've taken out 8 screws here, and I'm just going to lift this cover off, and hopefully that should give us a reasonably good access in here. You can see I'm just going to move that out because that's got the contacts for the sound synchronization, and there's some more firebox flicker stuff down the bottom there. So all I want to do is actually remove out these power pickups, because that's really all we need to worry about. So let's go and do that now. And we'll just come in here and get right down in there. Get very close to the contact, and there's that one gone. And then on this side here, remove that one. So then all that's needed is the same on this side. On the rear ones here, where are we? Let's remove that. I might have to trim that a bit closer, like so, and then the same on the other side, and remove that one there, like so. And that means that the whole motor now can be isolated from the power pickups. I'm just thinking a bit more now about the installation of the Beltrol stuff, and really all we need in the end is 2 wires to the motor from the ESC. So what I'm going to do is, here's the motor and gearbox assembly. As you can see, you can just sort of lift that out of the road, and really all we need access to is 2 wires here, and there's even a nice little plug here that we can use, this plug here, that actually plugs back into the rest of the electronics. But now we're ready to reassemble the chassis, and really I think that's all we need to do down the bottom end here. We're on the tender now, and what I'm going to do first of all is remove these power pickups from here because we don't need them. And then there's screws down in here, which you might be able to sort of see down in there. There's 2 screws there, and then it unclips. There's some clips here at the back, so we'll just remove those, and hopefully that'll give us access to inside the tender where we can start the rest of the installation. Okay, I've separated the tender body now from the tender floor, which you can see here. You can see now that we've got these loose wires, which were the pickups. One of the things that I noticed with this tender is it's got this section here, which is it's a recessed section, and it actually has a metal weight on the other side, which is the coal load, unusually. And what I'm going to do is, because I want to use 2 subsea packs, which are here, what you can see is that if I do that, and if I hold it up, you can see that there's not that much room. That little depression comes down fairly close. Now I really want to use these sub-Cs, because what I've found is with the AA, they don't work as well. They don't hold, or they don't provide as longer run time as the sub-Cs. So what I'm going to do is actually cut out that section here, that recess, because if I turn it over, you can see here on the surface, we could remove out that bunker there. You can see the depth of it. And still have plenty of room to put coal above it, and if anything, I'm going to modify this tender into an oil tender sometime in the future. So I'm going to remove that depression out there, and that'll give us plenty more room to do the installation. I'm going to approach the cutting off of this section from the top here, because it's going to be easier to get in there than trying to do it from the bottom. For anybody who's a little bit nervous about cutting into your brand new loco, I understand, but I've done this with many, and I think it all comes out good in the wash. So what I'm using is the Dremel. I've got a Dremel handheld attachment, you can see there, coming down through the cord. You could just use your Dremel straight if you wanted to, but on the handheld with one of the Dremel cut-off discs. Please don't forget your safety glasses. So here we go, we're going to get stuck into this. I'll just change hands here. Turn on the Dremel over here on the slide switch till we get a reasonable speed up. And really what we'll do is we'll come in here and cut in here, but I'm going to do that without the camera, so you'll see the end result when I'm finished. Okay, you can see how I've chopped that bunker piece here, that piece out of that section. I attacked it mostly from the top and cut it around there, which you can see, and that'll all be covered by a coal load anyway, so it's not going to really detract from anything. I'll just fix the toolbox up, it looks a bit wonky. And now what I'm going to do is look at a test fit here in terms of the tender. So what I've got is I've got these two subsea basically racing packs, RC car racing packs, which I got from J-Car. For anybody in Australia, J-Car is a pretty good supplier of this sort of stuff. So two of these will sit in there, and they're actually below the surface. If I hide it down there, you can see the only thing that's poking up is the wires. And the reason that I've done it that way too is actually gives me a bit of a recess there where that one is, and then I'm going to take each of these components here, which is the Beltrol. First one is the receiver module here, and then the actual electronic speed control. They'll fit in that recess, but what I'm actually going to do is place them on the tender floor here, so they're separated from the batteries over here. And what I'll do is I'll just put the batteries in with silicone sealant just to lock them in place, and then we'll wire those up separately later. And I'll put the receivers down here on the floor. If I've got it the right size, it's probably that side, down and along here, and that should actually complete the tender installation. We'll hook up the power wires back in through here, and I'm actually going to put a, if you look here with the RCS, you've got a programming plug here, which I've got to connect into the programming plug port, which I'll find eventually, which I haven't found yet, but we'll find. And also there's another connection, where have I put it? Down here that actually connects up the boards to each other. There's a plug here which you can see, and another plug here. So now it's time to go and read the instructions that came with the Beltrol system here, which you can see. We're going to read through these instructions thoroughly about how to do the actual install of the modules while I'm waiting for the silicone to dry on the batteries.